new, clear, action. What's up, everybody? So today we're talking about CHS, cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, whatever you want to call it. It's easier just to call it CHS. This is a condition that leads to repeated and severe bouts of vomiting. It is rare, only occurs in daily long-term users. Marijuana has several active substances. These include THC and related chemicals. These substances bind to molecules found in the brain that cause the drug to give it a high and other effects that users feel. Your digestive tract also has a number of molecules that bind to THC and related substances. So marijuana also affects the digestive tract. For example, the drug can change the time it takes the stomach to empty. It also affects the esophagus sphincter. That's the tight band around the muscle that opens and closes to let food from the esophagus into the stomach. Long-term marijuana users can change the way the affected molecules respond and lead to symptoms of CHS. So my story with CHS, we'll start back. I was 16 to 22, 6 years of smoking straight. Started with herbs, started smoking bud a lot until it became every day, and then eventually that wasn't enough, so I switched to hash and concentrates. Really strong concentrates, really strong hash, the strongest stuff I could possibly find. And right around 22, I remember one day I just started feeling really sick, like I was just needed to throw up. And threw up, thought like, oh, maybe I'm getting sick, maybe I'm getting the flu, just a normal sickness, didn't think too much of it. But then I couldn't stop throwing up, constantly felt sick, couldn't get any feeling of just being comfortable like normal, like just upset all the time, just in pain. And next thing you know, it's 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, I'm not eating any food, I'm not drinking any fluids, and if I am drinking fluids, it's just Gatorade, and I'm throwing it up within 10 minutes of drinking it, probably 5 minutes of drinking it. So I just have this bucket next to me all the time, and it's just filling up constantly. I'm draining it, and I'm feeling weaker and weaker as the days go by. Eventually, I got to the point probably 4 or 5 days in, I hadn't eaten anything, could barely keep any fluids down. My hands start cramping up, my body starts getting tingly, and I think it's just dehydration. I'm just dehydrated, that's it. So we go to the hospital, we get some IV fluids, and we're trying to figure out what this is, and it comes to the conclusion that it's CHS. Didn't know what that was at the time, never heard of it, had no clue what it was, didn't know how to treat it, didn't know how to get through it, anything. And so got through that. I think I was sick for about 10 plus days at least. I thought, okay, yeah, I'm going to quit. I need help. I'm going to quit, and went to rehab. Went to a sober program, got sober for 98 days, and then I relapsed and said, I can do this within moderation. I can just smoke a little bit here and there. That's it. But with me, and what I didn't realize at the time is once I start, I usually don't stop. And the only thing that got me to stop was getting sick. And so I smoked and smoked and smoked, and then I got sick about probably a month or two later. Got sick again, got CHS again. Thought, okay, I don't want to go through this again. Got out. Thought, okay, I can moderate it. I'll just only, and I kept playing the game where, okay, I'll only smoke a little bit of herb. I won't smoke any concentrates. That's what the problem was. And then eventually, okay, got sick again. Said, okay, I guess I'll just smoke cartridges. Just the oil cartridges. They're diluted, but they're concentrate, and they're strong, but I'll just smoke cartridges. Got sick again. Said, okay, I'll just do edibles, or I'll just do, little bit here and there, trying to moderate it as much as I could, but eventually it would just get to the point where I'm smoking multiple times a day, every day, and my sense of time would get so distorted that I'd be like, oh, it's probably only been a week, it's been a month, it's been a couple weeks now, it's been 2 months, it's like I had no idea of I had no sense of time when I get high, because time flies by, it feels like. And especially when you're getting high every day, all day, every day, it just makes it a blur. At this point, I'd been sick 4 times, and wanted to get clean, wanted to get sober. Did the same process again, just fucking got sick again. But this time was different because it was so much worse. And I had got to the point where I kind of knew how to manage my symptoms somewhat. Basically, when you have CHS, the only thing that gives you any sense of relief, any sense of feeling like, oh, I feel okay, is sitting in a hot bath, sitting in a hot shower. I'm talking like scalding hot heat, like just on your stomach, or just sitting in the bath, putting a heating pad on my stomach and just laying on it, holding it there. That was basically my routine for the 10 days, would be from my bedroom to the bath to the shower to the heating pad, do that cycle all the way up until, and I'm throwing up the entire time, and I'm chugging Gatorades, throwing them up, chugging Gatorades, throwing them up, just bottles of Gatorades by my bed. And every time it'd get to the point where I'd get cramping and I'd have to go to the hospital to get IVs. Every single time I've had CHS, the 5 times I've had it, I've had to go to the hospital every time to get IVs. This 5th time, though, I wanted to try to not have to go. Wanted to try and see if I could just like walk around, get my blood flowing, keep drinking little bits of water here and there, just little sips, and trying to keep it down, thinking I could manage myself like that. It got to the point where I'm completely cramped up. I can't move my hands, and I'm tingling all over. And so we go to the hospital. We go, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and I start to notice that things are just feeling off. Like I'm looking at one thing, and it's like it took a picture of it, kept that picture in place, and when I look around, that's all I see is that picture. I thought I was going blind. I thought like something was up, like this isn't normal. And then my heart starts to race. My heart starts to pump really, really fast because I'm freaking out. I have no idea. I can barely talk. Like my brain is thinking fast and normal, but the words coming out of my mouth, I couldn't speak. It was like I was about to have like, brain damage or something. Like something was going on. And I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm talking to the people who are getting me in, and I'm like, like this is bad. I'm freaking out, and I start having a panic attack, which is what it was. But in my head, one of the deadly things that can kill you with CHS is you can go into reverse cardiac arrest, where your heart basically can't be it. I don't know the exact definitions, but you can basically die from that. And the panic attack mixed with me thinking, oh, I'm going to go into reverse cardiac arrest. I'm going blind. I can't speak. Like this is happening. My heart started pumping like crazy, and I like beating so fast that like you can't even comprehend how fast. It's the fastest it's ever beat in its life, and I'm sweating and I'm freaking out, and it's all just a panic attack, of course. But in my head, I'm like, I'm dying right now, and I'm looking at my mom. I'm looking at her dead in the eyes, like thinking I'm about to die right here over just smoking weed, just getting sick and being stupid and constantly going back to this. Fast forward a little bit, we get in, I calm down, they get me a bag, and I'm breathing better and I'm calming myself down, but I still am having these weird like visions, like not visions of seeing things, but like I'm going blind and I can't talk. Like I'll try to talk like I was barely basically like this because I couldn't talk. That's exactly what it was like. It was slowed down. It was scary because I pride myself on communication, and I pride myself on being able to talk, speak, make music, do those things. And I felt like if I lost that, I'd lose a big chunk of my purpose in life. And so that was a wake-up call, smack in the head to take this more serious and stop messing up. Smart people learn from things that hurt them, and I wasn't being smart. I was being ignorant. I was being stupid. It really changed my perspective on it. I've had some relapses after that, which doesn't sound good, obviously, but it was the first time I've had a relapse, and I stopped myself after relapsing and saying, no, like I can't keep doing this. I can't keep maintaining this. I can't keep thinking I'm going to be able to deal with this. So it was the first time I've ever stopped myself after relapse, because normally once I start, I go all the way until I get sick. And this time I stopped myself, and it's been 5 days sober now. I know it's not a lot, but it's something to me that I stopped myself and I didn't get sick again. I wrote this, it's called Remember. I wrote this down because it stuck with me so much. Okay, so on June 15th, you got sick from CHS for the 5th time in your life, spending 10 plus days recovering each time. That's 50 days of your life gone, 1,200 hours you'll never get back. You felt you were going blind. You couldn't speak as fast as your brain was moving. You were losing the gift God gave you, all because you wanted a short-term pleasure of getting high. Was it ever worth it? No. Having your mom watch you thinking you're going to die, you felt in your soul that you were going to die. If you didn't, you thought there was a good chance you were going to go blind and have permanent brain damage. By the grace of God, Jesus, and the universe, you made a full recovery. Don't ever take your sobriety for granted, ever again. Keep this memory alive, and when you feel like relapsing, turn back to this page and remind yourself of why you or where you'll end up. Yeah, turn back to this page and remind yourself of where you'll end up, because you know exactly where you're going to end up if you keep doing this. And this is a rare thing. You know, this isn't something that happens to everybody. It's going to become more apparent as time goes on when weed becomes legalized all across, you know, everywhere. And it's just a rare thing. It doesn't happen to every person who uses every day. But for me, I was a chronic user. I used every day, multiple times a day, all day, every day, 420, blaze it, all. Like, I love smoking weed. I loved it. But this sickness and everything that's happened to me, I feel like was divine intervention, because if it wasn't for the sickness, I would have never quit smoking, and I would have settled at such a low level of living and life and not wanting to help people, only being selfish, only caring about myself. And it's like when I'm high, I don't care about anything. I just want to distract myself. I just want to enjoy the moment. I just want to do things that make me feel good. When I'm not high, I look for information. I look up psychology. I look up philosophy. I look to grow and connect more to myself and my emotional intelligence, and more to just understanding myself. I look to find solutions and answers to make myself feel better, and I substitute weed for music, making these videos, riding my bike, skateboarding, getting out of the house, cooking, just anything. When I feel those cravings, or I feel like I want to relapse, or I want to go and smoke, I kind of just observe those feelings. I observe those thoughts and those feelings, and I don't act on them. I take myself away and realize that that's not me. That's not me at all. That's just what my body and my brain wants me to do, and that's not what I want to do. And this video is just to try to get people to realize that, you know, CHS is a rare thing. It doesn't happen to everybody. I don't have anything against weed. It's more so when it becomes this big of a problem for you. And what's so hard is the people who get CHS usually love smoking weed. So when they realize, fuck, I can't keep smoking weed, and they realize they're addicted, and they realize it's a problem, it can be hard. It can be really hard to quit. My best advice is to get help. Go to a rehab, go to a NA program, in Colorado, they have MA, which is Marijuana Anonymous. And it sounds stupid. I get it, you know, there's a stigma around weed that it can't be addictive, or that it's, you know, it is, but it's obviously not nearly as extreme. And I 100% agree. I've seen it with people who have, you know, meth addiction, heroin addiction, cocaine addiction. It's not nearly as physically addictive. You don't physically get addicted to it, but your mind does. Your mind gets addicted to feeling good and feeling that. That's where the addiction is. But compared to a lot of other drugs, if this is the only thing you're addicted to in the sense of drugs, it's a totally manageable, totally possible thing to get through. The other drugs, they're so much harder to get through, so much harder to maintain yourself. But yeah, this is my story. This is what I've been through. This is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to share information with people, let them know that this is what I've been through. This is what helped me. This is where I'm at, and this is where I'm going. And I'm trying to just put valuable information out there around the things that I've experienced and the things I've gone through, so that maybe someone who sees this, who's going through the same thing, can realize that they could stop too, and they can change their life and do good things. I feel so much better being sober and not being high. But then there's those moments when you're sober and you feel low that you think, getting high would feel really good right now. But in those moments, you have to have those escape plans, those fire escape plans. Either that's someone you call, something you do, something you create, something you go do, whatever it is, you need to have those things in place. And it's a constant maintenance. It's like, this is something you change your lifestyle. Just like when you had a lifestyle of smoking weed all day, now you're not doing it. Now you have a lifestyle of trying to improve yourself all day and get better and add value to yourself and the community and the society. Like, it's important. It's important. Thank you guys. You guys have a good rest of your day. I want to put a couple pictures in here, maybe at the end or somewhere in between or at the beginning, of what I look like in the hospital. I think I have a couple pictures just to show you how, like, I was there. It sucked. All right, guys. You guys have a good rest of your week. New, clear, action. We out.